Alright, so we're back with another episode of another duel breakdown. In this case, we're going to do our most recent one, being Roxie. And, well, it's not surprising that he got wrecked. Also, you gotta love this matchmaking at 4K versus 4500. Who keeps feeding Roxie? I don't know. Like, this man is really not that difficult to beat, like, at all. Like, it just is what it is. Alright, well, you can see some of my character portraits are missing there, but if you watched any of our earlier educational videos, you generally know how the deck looks. I didn't change it for this one. That being said, let's get right in. Now, I keep forgetting to save the original version where I don't have the edits in before I do these. Usually the educational videos are a little bit more of an afterthought after I finish the me video, so a little bit of a rip to that. Thankfully, the cut-ins are not too heavy in this one. I have the music off just so that way we can actually hear the actual commentary over the stuff. I guess go ahead and let me know uh, if you want the music on or not that I had in the video. He drops an Echo Nut. Really, this is just him more than likely just trying to cycle things. Again, you're probably wondering why he dropped Marie in there. More than likely, it's because he's still trying to stall out. As we can see, he and then drops Pion. So his entire deck on this map, if you haven't noticed by now, is just stalling out. And then the idea generally is this: he takes, or he attempts to take, because he ain't taking any of these towers. That's all I'm saying. But generally, his idea, based on from what I see in the deck, is that he just wants to take like a single tower and then basically make sure you can't take one of his and then win off of that. Which is, it kind of says something about his play style. That's all I'm saying is if that he has to poke towers in order to win. That's just, you know. But yeah. So far we've got Mamba out. I should take care of the Echo. Not that it's really an issue. As you can see there, when 4 towers is enough, Pion users, because when 4 towers aren't enough, just LB50 Pion, and there you go, a free walking tower. Rion basically back there just so that way he's got more time to set up while she just chills and sleeps and gets her AS prepared. Not that it really matters, but Rion, outside of, freeze is a thing, although I guess not too many people are running freeze res at the moment, so it's not the worst, but really, you're just looking for the one shot with the Marine there, but it's pretty easy to counter. We're just putting Tarantula right there, the idea being just to keep Pion over there in the middle. He drops Lash here over in the corner. Again, you can see how this entire deck he has here is literally just trying to protect his own towers while chip away at yours, which, fair enough, I guess, but it's pretty cheesy. I can't say I'm the only one thinking that this is pretty cheesy. So we just go ahead and drop Marie in here so that Marine here so that way we can go ahead and take care of Lasharna. Also, because of how close he put to the tower, we get a free AS on damage on the tower, so we're already ahead immediately. And we got a kill for it. He probably was trying to bait that into happening, which is why he used Frog there. Unfortunately for him, he was extremely late, and I already killed Lasharn. Skill issue, more than likely, but yeah. This is Roxie I'm talking about. And thanks, because of Lammy's buff there, we had the Dispel, and Frog doesn't have enough buffs to stop her from taking away the invincibility. So she went ahead and dispelled all of Frog's buffs, crystallized him, and just immediately killed him. Which is why Marine is standing there. He took away Marine's block, but other than that, all he did was apply status effects. So, not the greatest use of a Frog there, especially when you have absolutely nothing to follow it up with. At the end of the day, Frog's still a 2 cost, though, so it doesn't matter too much. But it is a Frog out of the way that I don't have to worry about for the next, 30 seconds to a minute, which is helpful. Oh yeah, another thing as to why we drop Tarantula there is Poison does pretty good against Pion, just thanks to his massive amounts of HP. So Poison does quite a bit. especially if he can get the full stacks, which Pion naturally can't kill a tarantula as built as ours. So it's pretty much, unless he uses something to kill it off, is going to get the guaranteed 5 stacks poison and wreck Pion's life for a little bit while that's ticking down. Rion using AS there, not really too concerned about that. Lammy hits our crystallize. We also get the Marine AS, which stops Marian here from using her AS. Unfortunately, she has damage cut up. So she will live through this because of how long her damage cut is. Pion's gonna get shreked though by this AS. Drops his Marine, which, you know, he wants to talk about LBs, yet his is LB 45. Also, the fact that he's mentioned that he spent quote unquote thousands within World Chat, but wants to complain about mine. Make that make sense. Also, I'm dropping a LB 40 Akari here compared to an LB 45 Marine, but my LBs, am I right? See, the original idea there was if Marine's block had gone down, then I could have got a 2-for-1 off of Marion and Marine using Akari there, and maybe even killed Bion, depending on if she was close enough to hit the AoE. But unfortunately, Marine finally got out of her stats effects, and Marine still had block up, which, for whatever reason, Akari doesn't have block or invincibility pierce. And the only reason I say that is because, you know, people like Bria and Akari are bombs. So, you know, the whole idea is actually being able to do said bomb damage. But then you gave neither of them block pierce or invincibility pierce, which makes no sense considering they're bombs and like their only job in life is to kill the thing they're going for. So why they don't have pierce, I don't know. That's just a very strange aiming decision, but this is aiming we're talking about. So you know, anything's possible. Sib is going to easily annihilate Marine here. Now, for whatever reason, I guess Sib is just slightly closer, but his Marine throws are NS at Sib, which normally wouldn't be an issue. The only problem is, as we can see here, he ends up, because Sib's way faster than Lamish, he goes ahead and flies forward. And because that NS hit her, the block won't be enough to save her here, because Marine AS is just that good. Unfortunately, Lammy's NS only hits once there, and for whatever reason, their Marine still had the block up. So that didn't kill. But it's not really a big issue here because we just immediately turn around and kill him. I guess he got really lucky on the Lammy damage cut, wearing off right as he threw Priya out there, because with Quig, you think it would have gone off sooner. And if the AS didn't hit Lammy, or it hit her when she was in damage cut, she would have lived and just immediately turned around and killed Priya. So pretty lucky on his end. And now we're just going to go ahead and chill here for a bit. Mamba's just going to soak up some free points here, killing off the Echo Note and the Priya. We're not concerned at all about what's going on right now, because there's generally just nothing on the field. And our Mamba is getting stronger with every AS here. All right, and he's going back to the usual shenanigans of just placing Marian in the back. And, of course, he had another Pion, because when 4 towers isn't enough. So he's just going back to a stall, which really doesn't make sense at the moment, because he's already behind, right? Like, we have more tower damage on the right, and probably about even-ish tower damage on the left. So really, he needs to be making, like, actual damage-making moves. But he's just playing back, which I guess he's trying to play for the late game. But I have lower cost, and generally lower cost, or whoever has lower cost in the end game, has far more of an advantage. Like, when I can drop a Frog, or a Mamba, or Echo Nut, or Tarantula basically instantly every time points come up, considering half our deck is basically 2-ish cost. Not really sure why he would go for that, because I just have more low cost, which means I can throw more out there to protect more of my better people, or just throw them out as distractions. So not really sure why you would want to play a late game wherein your cost is that much higher, but this is Roxie we're talking about here, so. Another Lashana way in the back. This one is literally just to kill Akari, which the damage has already been done. Like, Marian's dead, so killing Akari at this point means nothing because even with the kill, I'm still up 1 point, and Akari's there just to kill the squishies. So, yeah, kind of just wasted points on his end. Drops another frog, not that it really matter. Again, see, he drops another frog, but he doesn't have anything offensive to deal with it after, right? I mean, he just has frog. I mean, Lashana maybe once she finally gets over there, but by that point, I mean, Kana could already have recovered and potentially killed him. This one is just really unfortunate, Pion. If he was like one step farther back, Lammy's AS should have hit both of them here if he was one step farther back. In which case, that would have insta-killed Frog and also crystallized Pion right there. But unfortunately, because he stepped one more step further, it ended up hitting only Pion instead. Not too sure. Not too sure why. Oh, I think I know what it is. I was like, I wonder why this didn't kill Frog, but then I have 2 stacks of magic attack down on me, which I think is 30%-ish. So, I mean, that's decent. And then Frog's all DR, so I can see that. And then we're just gonna go ahead and stun out his lash right here. It's free points. We've got an LB49 Frog, so he's just gonna be running around being an absolute menace as he always is. And this also protects our Lammy as well as our Kana for the time being, for the fact that they're not gonna be getting hit and frozen by Lashana is. And just to go ahead and make her even more useless, we're going to go ahead and throw down an Echo Nut. She shouldn't be able to kill it instantly, although ours is slightly weaker for where I'd want it to be at LB45. Ideally, this is a big thing a lot of people do, is neglect your beast in duels, which if you're going to have a unit in your deck, why are they not as built as you can have them be? Like, a Tarantula being able to eat, you know, some NS plus an AS or any beast in general, I mean, that just buys you a lot. And then they also do more damage, so you can potentially pick off squishies. Like, I think I've had Echo Nut kill people's Angies before, like by itself without anybody else, which is always hilarious to watch. So, yeah, make sure to build up your beast. They're in your deck for a reason. If they're going to be in the deck, at least make them good. That's all I'm saying. But, yeah. As for the Echo Nut, we're dropping it here pretty much to make sure Lashana is basically useless. He drops Marine. This is really unfortunate. I'm sure everybody has noticed who's ever done duels, but there's a bit of a drop delay whenever you do anything. And this should have gone up. See, like, if I could, like, frame by frame that, I would. Maybe I'll try that. This is also another reason I dropped the Echo Nut, because you knew Marine was coming back up at some point. So this was to help shut down Lashana, as well as put up a distraction. So that way, if he tried to run a Marine or a Sib, or, you know, somebody that could do an AoE group attack on me from across the river, the idea was to have Echo Nut remove Lashana buffs, potentially put her to sleep, while also acting as a shield for our people. But unfortunately, due to drop lag, more than likely, it places after he puts down Marine, and well, that's just unfortunate. Just one of the many things you don't have, or one of the many things you have to worry about. And this is just roasting Roxie, as per usual. Roxie always be talking about all the nonsense, so, you know, sometimes you just gotta slap them upside the head a few times. And we go ahead and drop Ira over here. Now, Ira is able to cross the river while using her AS, so she was able to come over here, instantly clean up Marine because she has block pierce. Frog's only living because of invincibility right now. Lashana is asleep, so she's not able to do anything. we have debuffless on us, so Pion's provoke can't do anything to us. And well, Ira is gonna be Ira and just absolutely annihilate all these fools. So that's a 3-for-1 right there. So that's what, 12 points. So pretty much immediately evening it out. But I also now have a DPS on their side right next to a tower, while they have a tank and a bomb that does no damage to my tower. So we're still in a better position in this spot. Now this part is just, this is just Male Aqua being Cancer, and the fact that he's not actually a good unit. The only thing good about him is the counter armor. And people probably don't remember what the counter armor does, but I believe it's like 80% of a unit's HP is fixed damage. So even at a 4 cost, just using him to drop somebody's health by 80% is sometimes good enough. You know, sometimes if you got to get rid of a maple or just some units you really have issues with, being able to take somebody's HP down by 80% just by existing is pretty good. Now, I think the only reason I actually hit here is because my damage cut is about to wear off here, or my damage block, one of the two. I think it's damage block. Either way, it's one of the ones that help negate damage. So I think if I would have hit that while counter armor was up, it would have been fine. I think I just lost Veil because Priya hit her with an NS, so probably between those two, that was enough. Not that we're really worried at this point, because he just has an Aqua with no counter armor on at this point, and he's also slowed, so he's basically just dead here if we want him dead. Now we're throwing Sib over here, the reason being is that this forces him to respond to it. It also takes pressure off the right side, because now he has to deal with that threat. And who's more concerning, a Sib going after a tower or an Aqua, or a Aqua going after the tower? And if you said a Sib, you'd be right 100% of the time. So he has to deal with that. And while he's dealing with that, that gives me time to deal with both Aqua and Pion here. Pion pretty much dead at this point already. Doesn't have any HP overshields. And now we want to use Kana right here. The reason that we're using Kana is because she has Veil. So even if they use like Lasharna or Marion or whatever, especially if they use Marion here, the AS will be negated thanks to Veil. And also we have the AoE, so Pion standing right there won't stop us from killing Aqua. Aqua will also be under CC, so even if the counter armor was going to be coming up soon, he would be stopped, so he wouldn't be able to apply it to himself. And it should pretty much clear out Pion here. Alright, so she used all the AS on Aqua, which, if I had to pick one or the other to kill there, I definitely would have preferred killing Male Aqua over that. And as we planned right here, he's forced to deal with my Sib. Using Sib against Sib is generally not that good. And the reasoning being is Sib's passive, which is 40% reduced damage against light. So I'm taking 40% damage less automatically just because of the fact that they're light. But Sib has the initial passive, like, that doubles her AS damage or something like that. So that will probably be enough to kill. Unfortunately, but it also depends on what buffs they take, because the AS dispels like 3 buffs or something like that. So he might have actually gotten lucky there to actually remove block. This part doesn't really matter. We see a Sib coming, so we go ahead and throw down Lammy. The reason we throw down Lammy is because she can remove all the buffs. Oh, but she can't hit flying after AS. Doesn't matter. She's frozen there for 15 seconds. A frozen, crystallized Sib in your own territory is a dead Sib. Like, if you can't kill her by the time that she gets uncrystallized, that's 100% on you. He drops a frog yet again, late. You know, skill issues. Nothing new there. This is Roxie we're talking about. And we're going to go ahead and throw down an Echo No, I believe right in front of Pion. The idea being just so that way He doesn't ideally sit in the middle of the bridge, so that way we can go ahead and still do damage to towers. Pretty sure we're still ahead already at this point, even still, like throughout the entire duel we've been ahead, so we're really not too worried about this. The only real thing we would be worried about is him getting more tower damage at this point, because we should still be ahead, but at best it'd be close to even. Now we drop our frog, and Sib is just completely done for right here. I mean, she's crystallized still, she's stunned, she's blind, she's paralyzed, she's debuffless. Her attack is dropped. Like, Sib is just absolutely having the worst time of her life. We do actually get the stun on his frog right there, which is guaranteed death. Also should have removed his invincibility. So both these units right here immediately dead. So he's going to be down 7 alone right there, thanks to these two, and we're going to be 7 up as a result. Pion is just going to be chilling there, thanks to Ekona. He also got hit by the stop and para from Kana over there, so she's still doing her job of being AoE area denial. He drops a Lash over here. The only reason that you would drop Lash at this point is to do tower damage, and Lash doesn't even do the most fantastic of tower damage. So a bit of a misplay on his end right here. I believe the thinking behind this would more than likely be to try and save his frog and Sib, but these two are already dead at this point. It's very much so the meme of stop it, he's already dead. I mean, how are you gonna save a Sib under like 10 different status effects? Frog's already like 1 HP. Like, there's no reason. Like, you should just consider these two dead. And not even dude. He probably would have been better off pretty much dropping like anything else. And this is just Ira versus Pion. It's just Pion being a physical defense mostly versus a magic knight with Ellie advantage is just, yeah, get absolutely dunked on, as we see right there. Like, it's not even close. Like, if my Ira was the same level as his Pion, like, he would just be insta-dead on AS. Not that he doesn't already die right there, but you can imagine how quickly an LB51 would kill. So you see Frog right over here being an absolute menace. We also dropped Tarantula over here. The reason is, like, his only hope at this point is getting Marion to use her AS on my tower, because Lasharna's not going to do enough, especially slowed. So he drops her in a last-minute hope of trying to make it happen when she already sleeps herself. So considering you only got like 10 seconds left, good luck to you. Also, we have a Tarantula there, which will eat the AS anyways. We also have a Frog going over there to be an absolute mad lad, as per usual. And not care about Maria and AS because Frog things. Pretty sure he kills Lasharna there. Now he drops an Aqua. The only thing he's doing that for is for the counter armor to try and kill Ira. But Kana, yet again, I don't really know why he left Kana to do Kana things. Like, Kana, even where she's at this point, is covering the entirety of the bridge, plus a little bit over into his area there. And as we can see right there, he drops Aqua immediately into Kana AS. Again, threw away another 4 points. This man threw away, what, like 12 points in the matter of like 15, 20 seconds? And right here, he knows he's done messed up because we're going to see the Ira AS. And done. I think like 2 more seconds, I actually would have gotten that tower right there. So he used 3 Pions, which you may as well consider them the equivalent of towers at LB50. So he essentially lost the equivalent of 3 going on 4 towers. And this man did what? 34% on my tower, maybe? Yeah, 34% of my tower after losing what may as well be the equivalent of 4 towers. And well, that's just Roxie getting wrecked. And his saltiness shows up. I mean, you know, as it says at the end, you know that's gotta hurt. Kind of sad to still lose, even when spamming an LB50 Pion. Like, this is his man's bread and butter, and he just got absolutely annihilated by Ira. Like, Pion against me is not gonna work. Like, with Marine and Ira being the thing, like, he's just gonna get shredded. Like, he may as well have almost even just thrown away Pie on his deck. Like, he may as well have been an actual dead character in his hand. Similar to Marion in that fact, because I could always just Akari her. And the only way he would have been able to save it is using stuff like Frog or another character. But at that point, you're investing 9-ish units, 6 to the 9 points, to try and keep away a Akari, which is generally not worth it. But yeah, that's another W for us. Infinite wins against Roxie, 0 losses, and well, you know, Roxie gets kicked out of Twitch. You love to see it too. I like to think this would be some of the reason as to why that is, but you know, maybe that's just me. And we always gotta send it off like this when we finish Roxie. Yet another one added to the family. Roxy's probably like all 10 members at this point, but you know, it is what it is. Appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video of the educated videos, and we'll see you in the next one. See you.